Hello, Mr. Terry Phelan, and welcome to Oddballs and Outcasts. This has been a long time coming, and I'm glad to have you here. You've been in India for the last 12 years, and you've been doing a lot for football in the country. So, before I get into the details, can you just please tell me how are you liking it here?
Obviously, India is a wonderful place, isn't it? It's so diverse, different foods, different cultures, in different, states, different languages, hundreds of different languages, and it's probably a love affair. I fell in with India and the Indian people more than anything, and obviously, what's brought me here is the sports side of it, is the football side of it, and I've seen some wonderful talent in and around the years and the places I've travelled in India, and I'm still here, trying to progress that talent and get them to the next level, as well as the students and the coaches and the old staff we work with. And I've been in some magnificent places. So I've had some wonderful times, and I'm still here now, 57 years, still running around the football field, enjoying it in the rain, in the sun. But no, I think once you fall in love with football from a young age, or any sport, whether it's a boy or a girl, and you fall in love with it on the streets of Salford and Manchester and in Ireland, Sligo to Bucurry, it never leaves your body. And I get goose pimples now, and it's a wonderful sport. Like any sport, sports personalities are in. It can be wonderful, and it gives me great pleasure being in India, still fine tuning it really.
So, you've been the South United technical director since 2019. So, can you tell me about your journey to it? Like, what was their pitch to you? What did you have to, say to them in order to convince them you were the right one for the job?
Well, really, it just come up about through a friend. I was in Carroll at that present time. I was at Mutu Football Residential Academy, and we was doing quite well there with the players and the coaches. And sometimes you feel yourself, 5 years, you maybe would look for a change, or an ideal change. And I remember meeting Mr. Sharon, the owner, and Mr. Pranav, the CEO, way back in 2019, and I said, listen, we've got something what you'd maybe be interested in. I said, well, what would that be? So they said, look, maybe come down to Bangalore, have a look what we've got, have a look at our vision, what we're trying to do, and it's a great vision. And obviously they showed me their infrastructure, which was only an AstroTurf field then, with the netting around it, but I seen the vision what they was trying to sell, and I just turned around and said, yeah, we've got a first team, we're trying to build the academy programs up. And I said, yeah, fine, brilliant, it's time for a change. And I think it come about at the right time for me, really, because I was and ahhing whether I was going to go back to Europe and then go back somewhere else in the rest of the world and look for a new venture and a new excitement. And I think this come around at the right time. So yeah, and it's been a fantastic ride. Yeah, we had some turbulent times, obviously, with COVID, but I think what the owner, Mr. Sharon, and his family did was kind of, let's keep on going, let's keep the workers working, through COVID, keep the staff on board, which was great, and what students we had, keep interacting with the students. But yeah, and back in the early days, I said, yeah, fantastic. I love the vision and I love the dreams of the owner and Mr. Pranav, and yeah, I just fell in love with what he was trying to achieve.
Yeah, and the club was established under the principles where they want to give back to the local community to help promote football from the very basic level. So what do you think the club has done? They've established in 2012. Obviously, you've come on later, but it's been over 10 years. So where do you think, how do you think the journey has been?
Obviously, they had the vision, and, it was exciting to talk about SUFC because, the football pathways plan, which sets out clear strategies, which they had, and we're talking about 10, 12 years ago, to maximise the potential of the football club across all the levels of the game. That's what they've set out to do, and I think the owner and the CEO have really taken that on board, and they've tried to do that. The football pathways plan is based on a 12 to 13 year vision, which is a clear actions in both the short and long term, which they've actually achieved, to tell you the truth. And it's not just about the students. It's about the whole holistic approach of the football club. And I say football club, I just don't say an academy, because the academy is within the football club, and it's not just the students and the coaches, it's the backroom staff, the operations staff, people who are on the ground working tirelessly to get us to the next level. And obviously then the coaches get involved, they're on the field, and then you're looking at the students. So, you know, it's a big commitment, and we have grown the community, and it's been fantastic seeing the community from outside coming in to this wonderful space which the owner and the CEO have created. Yeah. I mean, for me, you know, I do believe the participants, they want better facilities now. The parents want better facilities now. They want a safe environment. They want to grow a culture, and that's what we're trying to do. You know, especially in Bangalore, you know, it's been 12, 13 years. It's really growing now, and you know, it's fantastic that to see it really growing in the right way, and you know, and I'm sure everybody who comes in to that football ground down there, and I say football ground and football club, they get excited about it, and that's what the owners try to do is bring a football club and a community together. And they've surely done that in Bangalore, and it's, you know, if you've ever been down there, it's wonderful in the daytime. It's wonderful when them lights are on. You know, it's like real life. Being in probably back in Europe, if I can say that.
So can you like describe the facility to me, because I've not been there yet. I would love to, obviously, but like the moment you walk in, what do you see? Like what stands out?
I mean, listen, you can see the lights if it's the night time. And you know, you've got that little bit of mist, and you've got a little bit of rain coming in. I get goose pimples, I really do, because this is why I fell in love with the old place and the vision, you know, of the owners and his family and the CEO. You know, you come up to the gates, and you know, it just opens out. You know, so you really don't think there's anything there. You see these floodlights on. It's like maybe walking up to the Etihad. I won't say Old Trafford, I'll say the Etihad. No, but no,
I get it. I mean, Old
Trafford. I know you're.
It's a dump, man.
I said that because you're a Manchester United fan, but you know, I think it's like it really opens up. Then when you go in, it's got wonderful little spaces in there. You go in, you go to your left hand side. You've got the cafe bar, which is absolutely wonderful. You can sit in there, it's an open space, and then you've got the top. You can sit on the terrace above and watch the football or any events what's going on. To the right side, you've got a 6v6, 7v7 field. You know, it's always busy. You know, there's always a flow in there. There's always excitement going in there, which is fantastic. You go a little bit further afield, and then it opens out into the 11v11 with the floodlights, which is always busy. You know, it doesn't matter what's going on, whether it's 5v5, 7v7, you know, little 3v3 games. You know, the community coming in again and using it. And then as you walk around to the left, you've got the offices down at the bottom, which are just all lit up, you know, and that orange fluorescent lighting. And then above that, you've got a wonderful gym area, you know, wonderful gym area down there. If you walk past that down, we're building another space in there now, another facility we're building, which is going to be absolutely magnificent. And then further afield, you've got the coaches' room, full detail coaches' room, and then you've got a small 3v3 field. So what they've really done, they've utilised every little space within a space, if you know what I mean. And it's great that the vision and the minds around it and the architecture around it, and it's not easy. Yeah. You know, there's been times where we've had to, like, you know, adapt this or change that, but now it's looking like a space where it could be anywhere in the world. It could be in Europe, it could be South America, it could be in America, but it's a wonderful space. If you ever get down there, I would love to around. Actually, yeah, it's lovely. It opens your eyes what can be achieved if you've got that vision. Mm-hmm. You know, and I do believe now people will start following suit what South United Football Club have achieved, okay. And we're still growing. That's not the part where we just stop. We're still growing, and we're still trying to achieve the best possible abilities for the students.
So yeah, can you tell me the benefits of having a 3v3 pitch? Like, is it just for the juniors, or does it benefit the seniors as well?
Well, we say in football terms that 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s. You get more touches of the ball. It can be any age. You can use it for any age. It doesn't really matter. And that space is a lovely little space. So, for me, it's about getting touches on the ball. 1v1s, you're getting plenty of touches on the ball. Maybe it's for the TOTS programme we've got down there. Maybe we put the TOTS in there. It's a safe environment. They can't be running here, there, and everywhere. If you go into now the junior development side of it, yes, it can be 2v2s in there, 3v3, little formats, little games in there. If you go higher up into the youth development programme, again, it can be the same. It's about more touches on the ball. That's why you have these little small-sided fields. And then if you progress even up to the elite teams, when you again. Same format again, you little 1v1s in there, 2v2s, 3v3s in there. It just gives the students more touches of the ball, and it's engaging and all. And don't forget, it's learning them how to have fun with the dementals alongside that, the fundamentals. And the fundamentals about giving the students a football. We're not expecting too much of them and letting them enjoy themselves in a safe environment. And that's what we've created, a safe environment for the tots right up to the adults who come in from the community.
And before we started recording, we were talking about the right way of playing football, and you don't want the ball being hiked to the target man up front. So having these sort of like 3v3s, 5v5s, I think that encourages more like building out of the back and a lot of positional play and all of that you probably wouldn't get if you're just playing direct.
No, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Listen, it depends on your strategy at the end of the day. It depends on, at the grassroots level, we want to encourage the children and the students to be able to get on the ball and play and be excited with the ball. There's not too much ownership on winning, because, like I said earlier on, children will want to win. That's the nature. People want to win. That's the nature. But at the top level, it's about winning. At that top level, that's about winning. Down there, it's about nurturing them, learning them how to play the game, letting them fall in love with the game. And if we don't give them more touches on the ball, they're never going to learn the game. They're never going to be self-assured, with the ball. And that's what we try to do with them. And these small-sided games, you get more touches on the ball. The ball's in play more. There's more engagement. There's more fun. It's fun for the coaches and all. If you take that format away from them, and you're saying, okay, then we're not going to do that. We're going to put, the tots on 11v11 field, or the junior developments on 11v11 field, then it creates an whole different problem. Get them in nice tight little spaces, give them the ball, let them have fun, let them doing all the dribbling and the passing and the turning with it and the running with the ball. That's what the game's all about now. And we would call it street football, don't we, really? Because on the streets, me, when I was playing on the streets, there was me, a ball, a curb and a brick wall. I didn't have no coaching. And if the other guys was probably doing something else, I went out and sort of like played with the curb, played with the brick wall. It was like Wally, Kirby, one-on-one. And it learned me an array of technical details, which then I could bring onto the football field, And I think now we're getting back to that again. Because, the game's evolved. A lot of money's come into the game if you're looking at different parts of the world, and social media now is massive from when I was a lot bigger than when I was younger. I won't say how old I am on there.
But I think you're roughly 30, right?
Thank you very much. I keep going to the gym now, but no, the games. No matter what sports you play, and we played all different sports when we was on the streets. In the summer we did play tennis. Again, it was against a brick wall. We played cricket. Again, it was against a brick wall. You draw the cricket wickets up there, and and you played. You enjoyed it, and I think we've got to bring that back in to the students, the enjoyment, and not being too hard on them that it's about you have to win this big trophy here and then medals there and this and that, because at the end of the day, long term play development is about where are they going to be in 10 years time. Are they playing for the national side in India? Are they playing for the top ISL team? Are they playing in our own club? We've had some wonderful success stories where students have been in the elite teams and they've been evaluated to the first team, one or two of them, and beyond. And if they go into the I leagues, then that's a progression, that's success stories, that's a journey, and that's what you want to try and do at a football club.
Yeah.
Bring them on a journey, and then when them students now they can WhatsApp your Coach Terry or Coach Mark or Coach Paul, whoever it is. I've broken into the ISL team. I've broken into the national side. It brings joy. It brings happiness because they've probably worked hard to get there, and the coaches work hard and all. Believe me, at the grassroots, it's the hardest part of football, and we don't give the coaches enough respect down at the grassroots level. It's very difficult. You've got to put up with an awful lot, and this is where we've got to nurture the coaches and all, and that's what we do.
But speaking about the coaches, like what is the coaching setup like? How many coaches do you have? How many of them are from overseas? How many of them are local?
Well, we don't really have them from overseas. I think I'm the only overseas person is at the club, to tell you the truth. What we try to do is keep the coaches. We have a different array of coaches. We have coaches from Bangalore. We have coaches from other areas, other states. I just think it adds that little bit of flavour and all.
Yeah.
I think that's really a must, and then it's up to them to be able to evaluate themselves all the time and look at themselves and keep learning, keep that growth learning going, and that's what we try and do. Or maybe in Bangalore now it's growing, 20 odd coaches. Obviously, we're in Pune and all. This is where we're speaking from, Pune.
Yeah.
It's grown there up to maybe 15 coaches and all. So, we've got an array of staff, and it's not easy. You've got to look after them staff. You've got to educate them staff. You've got to keep geeing them up, because we don't know what's going on in their lives. And this is where, leadership roles comes in, particularly from myself and the head of youth development and the operations department. It's really looking after the coaches, because if we don't have coaches, there'll be no plan of action.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and we've got to look after them and all, because at the end of the day they are only people, and that's what we've got to look after the coaches the best we can.
And there are like a lot of people coming when they are 7 or 8 or 9, and to educate them about the game, and also to see what's their best position. How do you guys know, at like what age do they also know, and at what age do you guys know what's their best position? How can they impact the game in the best way?
Well, when they come into the TOTS programme, it's just about, like I said, it's about having fun, engagement, just learning about life in general, in the social corner, learning about who you're engaging with at that age. The minds are still growing. They don't really know about football. We try to bring a lot of colour into it, different colour footballs, different colour hurdles, different colour hula hoops. So they see these colours, and then telling them stories, but getting them engaged with the football at an early stage. We don't know where they're going to be. We can't call them elite players at 2.5 years of age, can we? We can't be saying, oh, he's a great or she's a great little player. We just have to let them grow, and their self-expression and having fun. And at that age, it's just about having fun. As they evaluate up to the junior development, 5, 6, 7 years of age, they still fall in love with the game, giving them the football, not too much information onto them, letting them have that self-expression of thought, again, enjoyment. It's about enjoying and falling in love with the game, because if they don't do that, they're going to fall out of love with the game, and we have to be very careful at that age, because that's the ages where we see a little bit in there, and then hopefully can we progress them if they want to progress, because at that age they all want to do different sports, and there's nothing wrong with all different sports. One year we might see them, the next year they might go to another sport. That's just culture, that's the way the land lies. Yeah. Even in my day growing up, we played multiple sports, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's what grabs them, it's how they fall in love with that game, and it's up to the coaches to make them, I wouldn't say make them, but help them fall in love with the sport. Yeah. And then obviously, from the junior development, we have the youth development programme at SUFC, where there's a pathway for them. There's a wonderful pathway where they can jump into that if they want to. Some parents elect not to, some parents do. And then again, it's up to the parents, it's up to the students. And then from there we have the elite programme, and also there's a lovely pathway there from And at the top of that pyramid, we've got the first team. So, you know, that's where that tot, when they first come into the club, we're not too hard on them. You know, we let them play, but we have something at the top for them, and that's the first team. That's the cherry on the cake for them, you know, for them. And that could take years. That's why it's a long-term player development program. It could take years and years and years. But you have to be patient. We have to be patient. Coaches have to be patient. Parents have to be patient. And the students are still finding themselves. You know, it's really up to them. But all we can do is be there for them, you know, with an holistic approach, and really love them when they come in, and make it exciting and fun for them, because they're coming into a wonderful space.
Yeah. And also you were saying that you speak to the parents a lot, and then they ask about you when you're not there. So how important is having that relationship where they can, you know, trust you, and then also like, you know, say, okay, I can give this guy 10 years of my kid for the growth, and then see where things go. Like, how important was it to, you know, build that sort of relationship?
Being a parent myself, it's paramount. You know, we cannot do it without parents. You know, parents bring their children to our football club. You know, in the wind, the rain, the fog. You know, they're always there if they can get there. So, you know, we can't leave the parents out of it. They're part of our family. They're part of our culture. They're part of our environment. And it's very important to go around and speak to the parents. It might only be a smile. It might be, how are you doing today? You know, is there anything I can help you with today? Yeah. They might ask a question how the son or daughter's going on, you know. We do evaluate all the students, so they'll know from the evaluations they get. But I think it's speaking to the parents as a family, you know, and loving the parents. And that's one thing I've always done, you know, in this job, is put the parents first and all. Because if we don't, then we don't have no students, you know, to work with. And yeah, like I said before, the parents are paramount to what we do. And you've got to answer the questions. You've got to talk to them. You've got to make time with them. You've got to sit with them. You have to do that, because cultures are changing now, and the culture in India now, the modern day parent is very, very acute in the sports industry. You can read about sports now. You've got it on your phone. Back in my day, you didn't even have that. It was in the newspaper
or the radio.
You know, my mother didn't even know I played football. You know, maybe that was a blessing in disguise from having her on the sidelines.
Would that make you nervous?
Not really, no. Because once I went onto the football field, it was just about me.
Yeah.
It wasn't about what happened outside. But you know, we talk to the parents and all on the, you know, the protocol, what we do have within the football club, and parents are watching games, and you know, let's not take away the joy for the parents and all. They've got to enjoy themselves.
Definitely.
But they can enjoy themselves by, you know, demonstrating the right actions towards the students.
And you guys started in Bangalore, and then you came to Pune. So what made Pune the next destination for you all?
Yeah, long time coming really, because we was talking about you know, expanding in different spaces for an awful long time, even way back in the day. But obviously with COVID again, that hampered that. So I think really now we've had a really good look at it. You know, we had a good look at the strategy, and you know, we spoke to people in Pune who was in the know, and you know, what could we do next? How could we help the growth of football in Pune and add to that ecosystem? You know, and I say add to the ecosystem. I don't mean take away from the ecosystem. You know, adding a little bit more value to the ecosystem in the spaces we've got, and the football fields we've got, and all. And obviously, I think it's helped everybody. Yeah, we're still new to Pune. You know, we're still finding out, you know, what fits, what doesn't fit. You know, it's not straightforward, believe me. But we're patient, and we've got to be patient with it. And because, you know, there's talent all around India. Yeah. All around India, there's talent. There's wonderful talent. There's an array of maybe 1 million Messis and Ronaldos, but it's grabbing that talent and nurturing them. And I think Pune's one place we'd come to. Obviously, Pune was once upon a time in the ISL. Now they've got no real team in the ISL. And hopefully down the line there is a team in the ISL, because I think it'll really grow the football stature in this part of the world. So I think us coming in is just adding that more value and giving the opportunity to, you know, more students coming in, having a look at what we've got as a football club, obviously the academy within the football club, and you know, taking them on that journey really, and speaking to the parents again, because some parents might be a little bit nervous. You know, some parents maybe, well, I've been at one club for 2 or 3 years and I really don't want to leave, but it's putting an holistic approach on again with quality, and that's what we've got to do, and that's what we're doing in Pune at this present time.
Okay, and when you've come to Pune, what is it about the city that you've noticed in terms of that's something that makes you assured that, okay, fine, a footballing culture can be built here?
It's not the traffic anyway.
And you're staying in Bavdan, right?
Yeah,
so it's a long drive for you.
But that's part and parcel of the job at the end of the day, is travelling and going around to the different centres, seeing what's there, helping out with the coaches, helping the head of youth development, helping the heads of operations. It's really about that, and seeing what's there. Listen, it's about coming in, and like I said, we're not taking anything away. We're just adding to this space, and hopefully we can generate enough quality players, female and male, to take them on a journey where we want to go, and especially where our coaches want to be and the whole department of the football club want to be. You know, do we say we want to be competing against A, B or C? No, we're competing against ourselves first. We want to be the best we can be within what we do, and bringing that added little bit of quality, I suppose, to Pune.
And what would you say is South United's sales pitch to anyone looking to, you know, build a career in football? Like, why should anyone pick South United over the rest?
Well, that's an hard question, isn't it? Because that boils down to the individual, what they want at that particular time in life, and where they are in that particular time in life. I think if you're starting out in the football field or the sports field, whether it be sports management, whether it be a referee, whether it be a linesman, whether it be in the strength and conditioning department, the medical department, maybe it's in the operations department. I think we've got an array of everything, you know, at the football club. And, you know, I think we're adding value now to the growth of football in all them departments. We've got young coaches, we've got strength and conditioners, we've got physios, you know, and that's where we've added that growth and all. To the employability skills, you know, and we've really gone head and strong at that, you know, to really get the younger folk in, encourage them to take the badges, encourage them to self-learn and all, and add to that space, and give them a chance of coming into maybe a wonderful sport, because there's all different directions and pathways of that, you know. Maybe some coaches, they come in, they stay for 2 or 3 years to get that education, and they want to prevail and go, you know, to the next level. I always say this: youth football's magnificent to be in, and you can really excel yourself. I always say, be the best you can at youth football, because youth football's growing in India at a rapid rate, and everybody wants to strive to get to the top. And it's difficult at the top, you know. There's more pressures at the top. There's pressures all the way through sports, but at the top it's a different pressure. And I think at the bottom you can have fun, but it's difficult, but you can have fun with them. You can watch the students grow and really be excited with it. At the top, it's about winning, and that's when the pressure really starts. But I would say educate yourself as much as you can in all departments, you know. Don't just learn about what's happening on the field. Go in and learn about other departments, whether it's strength and conditioning, sports science, being a referee, being a linesman, you know, in the operations department. Educate yourself as much as you can.
And when you guys get kids on, how is the system like? Is it like a pay and play thing, or is it a monthly thing, a yearly thing? What are the different packages you guys have?
we have different packages. Like I said, we have the TOTS program, we have the junior development program, the youth development program, we have the elite program. Then you've got the first team. So there's an array of different packages for the different clientele, what come in, the different students, what come in. You know, it's up to the parents to pick what they desire, really. And we try to cater for the parents. We try to cater in any which way we can for the parents, and really try to grab their attention. Some want to, some don't want to, some just want to stay where they are. Some are curious what's going on, and we try to really evaluate ourselves, and how much we can be a part of the parents and the family's life within the structure what we've built.
Okay. And like you said, you've been here for 12 years. So where do you think Indian football has gone since you've been here?
Well, I started off at a football academy in Goa, Goa Football Academy. So that was absolutely fantastic. It had its infrastructure for the first team and the junior setup. It was a residential. So I did see a little bit of light there, and it was quality to go there. Wonderful football players who are now playing in the ISL from them days, playing for the national side. Obviously there needs to be more games within the school system. We need to educate better in schools, I would say, with the PE teachers, because it's very difficult for them when one PE teacher's probably got 80 or 90 children.
Yeah.
We need to refine that a little bit more, a little bit better, and get them playing in the schools, more games, as well as in the academies and the football clubs, more games for the students, but not exhausting them. It's got to be a fine line between the studies and playing. That's very important. But we have to give them a chance. I keep saying, taking them on this journey, and that's what we have to do. And infrastructures are getting better. We do know that everywhere you go now, there's maybe a 7v7 field popping up,
Yeah.
AstroTurf, that wonderful environment and all that. And it's important that it's a safe environment. I think the days have gone where you're playing on the streets now. If you go into the northeast, they're playing on the fields. You've got carolers, they're playing on the mud fields, and that'll always be there. I don't think that'll ever change. But I think it's creating these wonderful environments where the children can come in. They can have all these wonderful mixed emotions and enjoy the sport of football.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to come to. Different states play a different sort of brand of football also, but in different conditions. Like some places it's really cold, some places it's really hot, some places it's raining. So what all have you noticed in terms of...
I think that's the beauty of India, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've probably got about 25, 28, 29, 30 different countries within a country,
Yeah.
if I'm really honest. It's so diverse, that's the beauty of it. But we can't stop, students from playing, no matter what sport it is. Whether it's on a mud field, whether it's on concrete, if that's their desire and that's all they've got, then, and if it's in a car park or on the top of a terrace, that will make them better.
Yeah.
Because what we want to do is get them off them PlayStations and sat there in front of a PlayStation all day long, because that does no good for the body, especially at the younger ages. You've got to get them out there, get them off that couch, get them out there, and we're just adding to that ecosystem, aren't we? But get them out there, come to South United Football Club, and I say football club, not just an academy.
Yeah.
And I always say that when I'm speaking to the parents. But yeah, I just think it's getting the students out there, no matter what sport they're playing. Health and well-being is key, because the world is fast-paced now. Parents haven't got time, and that's why you're seeing a lot of these maybe 7v7 fields popping up all over India now, and infrastructures are getting better, and that's key. That is really key now.
So are you guys reaching out to these players on the 7v7 fields, talking to them about the academy, seeing if they are interested in coming? How do you guys reach a new audience?
Listen. Obviously, through social media is a big player now. Marketing's a big player now. Word of mouth is key. If you can tap into one or two parents and they love the program and the children are enjoying the program, then it's a knock-on effect. You get walk-ins, which is great, and then you look at the environment and all. They think, well, yeah, the environment's different here than it is probably down the road. I like this environment. It's a safe environment. The coaches are having fun with it. It's key that the coaches are key. They're a key element of, our strategy. The coaches are. The participation, patience is and all. And the parents are. The parents will always look for something different.
Yeah.
They'll always look for something a little bit different, and hopefully we can bring that.
And you obviously followed the Indian national team, not probably as much as people within the team, but you must have seen the transition of the team between Stephen Constantine and then Stimac. So Where do you think?
Way before Stephen. I know, way before.
No, I think that's when you were here, but I mean,
yeah,
even
way
before
Stephen. I was there way before Stephen. You know, I remember the national team used to go abroad for 5-6 months. You know, I think one year they went to Portugal for an awful long time. You know, and they come back, and I think exposure is very, very much the key element. You know, and at our football club, we have to add value to the All Indian Football Federation's ecosystem and all, and that's what we try to do. You know, am I going to say we're going to have so many students playing for the national team? No, I'm not, because I know how difficult it is, and how big India is, and I know where players come from. But what we can do is have a vision with people and say, look, this is where you are now, but this is where you can be if you want to be. It's up to the individual and all. But yeah, the national team, it's been through its troubles in the past. It's been through its troubles now, as we're seeing what's coming out in the press. You know, it seems to be like a never-ending story, and we've got to get to the bottom of it. This is about people sitting around a table and being human beings, and stop throwing the words about. You know, because if it keeps going on like that, we're going to go no further in world football. You know, if the Indian national team are doing well, then football grows. You know, and that's, everybody can see that. You know, and I think the All Indian Football Federation, they've got a roadmap now. They've got a plan of action. Hopefully everybody can align with that. Hopefully they can, you know, really look at where they need to be at this present time, what actions they need to take, who's going to be the coach in this present time, what the backroom staff are going to be at this present time. I can't tell you too much because I don't know a lot what goes on there. But for me, I just love to see the Indian national team doing really well, competing in Asia first. Forget competing with Europe and the rest of the world. Compete in your own background first. Be the best in your own background. And that's where we need to be. Because I'm hearing, you know, every day somebody says to me, you know, when is India going to be in the World Cup? I can't tell you that. You know, there's all a roadmap put out there. We can add to maybe look at World Cup cycles for the best students, maybe at that 9 years of age, at 10 years of age, and look at an holistic approach, which they're doing. But, you know, there's a fine line where, you know, where we go with it. It's a fine line, because it can't be, you know, like a mess here and a mess there, and we're talking about this and we're talking about that, and then we're going back 4 to 5 years. We should be going forward 4 to 5 years. Now, let me tell you something. You look at the array of coaches what are getting the badges now, which is great. We're giving, you know, All Indian Football Federation are giving, you know, people, and I say people, the chance to add to the ecosystem. These young students of the game. You know, I don't care if you've played the football or not played football. If you want to learn about a sport, you go and learn about the sport. And if you want to take your education further, then the All Indian Football Federation are adding to that. You know, because years and years ago it was very, very difficult to take your badges. Now they're opening the doors and saying, look, there's a route into a wonderful game.
But is that the right thing in your opinion? Like, shouldn't it be harder so that you get better coaches, or they just want the number now?
But then we beg to differ. You know, if we close the door and we make it really, really difficult, then we're not going to have a lot of coaches. And India's a big place. So then it doesn't add to that ecosystem, does it? We should struggle. By opening the doors, then it's up to them students of the game to get more education and better themselves individually. Because we can't always be looking for the man above us. They have to do it themselves. They have to evaluate themselves, the students, they really do. And they have to look at the game in all different levels, like we just mentioned, sports science, strength and conditioning, all that array of it. It doesn't boil down to just coming on a football field. Nowadays it doesn't, you know. So, you know, I think that's okay. And again, you know, we're employing people. We're giving people a chance to come into a sport which they probably never thought they would have had the chance before.
And also now they have to obviously find a successor to Igor Stimac. Do you think they should go down the approach where, like the United States national team, they just reached out to Jurgen Klopp? Obviously, he's going to reject them. But do you think they should aim that high, go for sort of a big name? What do you think they should be doing?
It all boils down about what funds they've got.
Yeah.
You know, because these coaches don't come cheap. You know, they do not come cheap. So, I mean, it's up to what funds they've got. You know, how deep the pockets are, what they're really looking for. Because we can't, I mean, Mr. Stimac was in there for 5 years. I thought he'd done wonderfully well. The last year was iffy, wasn't it? You know, it wasn't great. You know, it wasn't perfect. But we have that in football. And whatever's gone at the top, the in-house fighting, that's up to them.
Yeah.
They'll sort that out between themselves and what's gone on in the papers and the media and that. You know, one day it's there, the next day, you know, it's in the bin. You have to get on with things. So, yeah, maybe. But then, you know, that approach is going to be a big approach. You know, it's got to be a big approach. Then you've got to let people who are coming in, let them do the job. Let them get in there and do the job. Because I'm sure they'll come in with a blueprint. I'm sure the All Indian Football Federation have got their blueprint. This is where we want to go. We want to compete in our own backyard first. So it's getting the right person. But the Indian national job is like the Indian job, the England job. It's the hardest job in the world.
Yeah.
Because no matter what you do, you're always going to be scrutinised for it. You know. So I think it's bringing somebody in with a clear vision and letting them have that clear vision, and it's up to the players and all. To have the buy-in. It's up to the players. It's up to people like us at South United Football Club to add to that.
Yeah.
You know, and other clubs and to add to that. So to make that job easier. So for me, they've got to get the right person in. A person who's going to go around India. A person who's going to work hard. Going to watch ISL games. Going to watch I-League games because there's talent all over. You know, he's going to watch the youth games. Yeah. He can't be in one place. At a time. So. He's got to, 10 places at a time. Sorry, I'm saying that wrong.
No, because that's what Stimac said after he quit. You know, he just gave that press conference and he said that the people in charge don't really care about the game and they're just there.
They've got to care. They've got to care about the game, because it's no good us caring about the game, what we do, and we're adding that growth to the game at South United Football Club. Upstairs, they've got to care about the game. They have. Otherwise, they're never going to get forward. You know, I keep hearing saying, oh, well, you know what? Maybe we'll hold the World Cup in India so we play in the World Cup. That's not how it should be.
Yeah.
You should have the right to work hard to get to a World Cup, you know, and progress the players to be able to get them dreams to play in the World Cup. I did it with Ireland, a little country of 4 million people. We had some of the best players. We played to a set structure, you know, and we did it, so why can't India do it? You know, you've got 1.6 billion people. Surely there's got to be, boys and girls out there who really love the game, who want to perceive and play for their national side.
Yeah.
But it's the people at the top they've got to help that. They've got to help that growth, because we can't keep going back.
Absolutely.
5 years and 5 years before that, and because it'll come to a head and we'll be going nowhere. And I say we because I'm part of it, by the way. I've been here long enough. Sit round the table. What's the best strategies? Associations. What's happening in district associations? State association. What's happening there? How can we add value to them and all? Can there be technical directors in there? Can there be head of youth development people in these associations throughout the states? Develop football development managers. And then they can go out and then they can identify the talent, what's around. Then they can do coach education and come into the clubs, And that's what it needs, because one man and the head coach, that's not his job to do that.
Yeah.
The head coach is responsible for winning games.
He needs the right structure behind the scenes.
Because we can't keep blaming the head coach all the time.
Yeah.
It's easy to blame coaches. It's easy.
That's
the easiest thing. And look how Gareth Southgate has been scrutinised. At the end of the day, it's a difficult job. It's not an easy job. Especially in India, it's not an easy job. But for a man to come in for 5 years and the early stages really work wonders, maybe the taste got away from him.
Probably, yeah. And it's also going to be a new era now because Sunil Chhetri is also retired. So it's going to be the new guy who comes in is going to have to, first find the guy who's going to build. He's going to build the team around. So that's another challenge.
I mean, Sunil's been a wonderful student and a wonderful player and a wonderful ambassador for the national team. He really has. I worked with Sunil for Sony Sports.
Yeah.
Wonderful football player. I remember him. We was in the gym. This is going in and out.
Yeah, I know it is.
We was in the gym, and he just said to me, "How do you keep so fit at your age?" I said, "Well, it was an education when I was younger, and I educated myself. If I want to be at the top of my tree, I have to educate myself when I'm younger." He said, "I wish I would have had that when I was younger." I said, "Well, you're not doing too bad for yourself now. You're doing really well, and you just keep growing, and you pass it on. You pass that experience on to the players who are around you." And wonderful football player, been wonderful for Indian football, and I'm sure he'll still carry it on with that wonderful knowledge he's got of the game, and his personality speaks volumes for the youth of today and all. And it's always nice to bump into him. He's a funny character, great character,
Yeah.
He's very open, and you can always talk to him about anything, and I'll have to take him in the gym and show him one.
But yeah, you guys worked with Sony, and you also worked with Patrice Evra.
Yeah.
And he seems to be a pretty entertaining character on camera, but I'm sure off camera it must be a whole different level. So what's it like working behind the scenes with him?
Well, we're just normal people at the end of the day. We played a game which we loved, but at the end, when we come off to the field, we're like any other normal person. Yeah, you've had a little. It depends how you want to be.
Yeah.
Depends if you want to let the stardom get to your head, or you just want to be that down to earth person. And Patrice, down to earth person, wonderful, colourful person. The array of clothes he wears, and that's his character. And we need characters, even in the normal life. We still need characters.
Yeah.
Life's about living and enjoying yourself, no matter what you can. If you can make somebody's day a little brighter by a smile, or how you doing, or an arm around them, speaks volumes. And Patrice was brilliant at that. Don't forget, he's played at the top level in the game, played for his country, captain his country, along with obviously Sunil. But it was great. The banter between them was electrifying.
Yeah. Was it the same off camera as well?
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really unbelievable.
And he doesn't have to censor himself off camera, so I'm sure it must
Listen,
be.
let me tell you something now. I don't know how well he knew Sunil and ourselves, but he was absolutely a beautiful person just to get on with. He didn't have an ego. He didn't talk about what he'd done. He was just a normal guy coming in, colourful, bright. Enjoying himself. I'm sure you've seen his videos on social media.
Love them,
dressing up one or two different characters.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. We still need characters in the game, and I don't think we've got them characters anymore. I don't think we have, but yeah, and Sunil was great, honestly. They really was good guys to work with, honestly.
And did you and Patrice have any banter about United and City? Any back and forth?
No, because it's different eras, isn't it? When United was United.
Yeah.
I know you're a United fan, and I know you want me to speak about Manchester United. But listen, growing up just down the road from Old Trafford, and the old main road there was wonderful. Wonderful spectacle, really. And we know about Manchester United. We know the brand they are, Manchester United. A massive brand, aren't they? You can walk anywhere in the world and see a Manchester United shirt. You could be on a deserted island, and I'm sure and I say deserted, but there may be somebody who just might creep past you with a Manchester United shirt, and that just tells you about the brand. Yeah, they've been in difficult places at this present time, and hopefully they can change that. But different eras, when you look at Manchester City now, when you look at what's happened at Manchester and Manchester City, the blue half of Manchester, they created, a wonderful community and all around that with the football academy.
Yeah.
They brought jobs in, they brought employment in, absolutely fantastic what they've done. And again, it was a vision,
Absolutely.
what they've done. I think Manchester United now, obviously with the new owners coming in there, they'll plan.
Yeah.
They have to plan. They'll get bigger, they'll get stronger, and they'll be probably where Manchester United are. But we never, where Manchester United want to be, but we never really talked about Man City and Manchester United.
Okay.
We really talked about just having fun and talked about his clothes and stuff like his glasses and one shoe off and one shoe on.
I was surprised you didn't dress up in Indian as well. That would have been fun.
Oh no! Listen, you know, I love the Indian culture. I think it fits me. It's wonderful. It's colourful. It's bright. You know, there's always something new happening, and I think anyone who's come over, they've always fell in love with India.
Yeah.
You know, you either love it or you hate it. There's no in between.
There's no in between.
There's no in between, and I think that, you know, the other, you know, pundits who have come in, you know, they've had a look around, they've gone to different states and they've gone, yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. We didn't know it was like this. We thought it was different, you know. But yeah, there was wonderful people to work with.
Yeah, and we've mentioned Gareth Southgate a lot. So just before you came here, it was announced that he is stepping down. Do you think that's the right decision? And what sort of job you think he's done since 2016?
Well, he's been in there now, what is it, 8 years he's been in there. Yeah. I think he's took England as far as he possibly can, you know. 2 back-to-back Euros, it's not bad, is it? I'm sure a lot of them managers who were sat at home while England was playing in the final, the first time and the second time, would have loved to have been there where Gareth was.
Yeah.
Obviously, they couldn't get over the line. Which was for unknown reasons, you know, whether how he was playing and there's all that. But at the end of the day, he's the manager, he picks the team, and it's easy for us to say and go, oh, I should have done this, he should have done that, he should have done maybe he should have. But I thought he's been wonderful. But listen, it's not just, remember what I said earlier on, it's not just about that, one person, you know, 20, 25, 26 players, you know, at the Euros. Think what he's done underground. Think what he's done bringing these players from the U17s, you know, from the U18s through the U19s, and seeing them evolve, you know, and bringing them in and catapulting them into the first team and bringing them to 2 major finals. These young boys, people like Foden and, you know, Cole Palmer, who should have played a lot more, but he's been there now, and it'll only add confidence to them. So let's look at the good work he's done underneath. Let's just not look at one game. And at the end of the day, like I said, one game probably counts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Fine margins, but let's look at the wonderful work he did underneath. Yeah, he's stepping down now. He says, listen, can't maybe take him any further. It's up to somebody else to come in and now and nurture it. And it was not an easy job.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you something now. It's not an easy job because everybody wants them to play like they do at club football.
That's not going to be possible.
It's not going to be possible because you've got different clientele around you, different players, different attitudes around you.
And he probably spends only a few weeks a year with his team, so he can't really get his message across.
It's difficult, but it's like that for everybody.
Absolutely,
it's like that. It's like that for everybody, isn't it? And you know, England. If we come from 1966 up to now, if you look at the golden generations England's had, think about it. They should really have done better. They should really have won a major competition. But then you can say that about the Dutch. You know, they've only won 1988 Euros. They haven't won a World Cup. Yeah. You know, the great Dutch sides of the past. You know, so different cultures change all the time, and maybe now it's chance for another culture change to come into the England setup.
So the likes of Eddie Howe, Graham Potter, even Pochettino have been linked. So who would be your pick?
I mean, listen. At the end of the day, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Do you want an English man?
That's what do you think they should?
Do you want an English man? Or well, listen. I played under Jack Charlton, the great Jack Charlton, who played for Leeds, a great manager, won the 1966 World Cup with England. He brought Ireland to major tournaments, and you know he had a plan. You know, and with limited players and limited resources. By word, he did absolutely magnificent for what he had. But I mean that's up to the FA, isn't it? At the end of the day, they'll look for the right person who fits that profile. Whether it be an overseas manager, whether it be an Englishman, that'll be up to them. You know, for me, whoever comes in, they've got to do better now than Gareth Southgate. And what does that mean?
That means winning a trophy.
You've got to win a trophy.
Yeah.
So whoever comes in, the pressure's going to be on him straight away to win a trophy. We know what happened. We'll turn the page. Manchester United, Alex Ferguson leaves. They've had an array of different managers come in. Yeah, they've won the trophies here and there, but they've never really gone to the levels where they should be. You know, so you look at Spain. Spain had a 12-year existence of not winning anything, and then again a culture change.
Then they won back to back to back. Yeah.
A rapid culture change. Now they've won the Euros.
Now they won the Euros.
208 Euros, World Cup 210,
Yeah.
212, and then they haven't won nothing till now. So it's a culture change, isn't it? And we have to think about that. Hopefully the person who comes in and takes that job on can evolve the team. That's what we're looking for.
And what was your entire take on the Euros? Because this was one of the few low-scoring competitions in recent history. Did you enjoy it on a personal level?
Well, of course I did. I was commentating on it, so for me it was absolutely fantastic. I'm a football lover, any type of football. But you want to see good football. You look at the teams like Albania and Georgia and Turkey.
Even Austria did really well.
Austria was fantastic, and the smaller nations was great. So it tells you something's happening in them smaller nations, doesn't it? It tells you the development of football is really strong. To get out of them group stages and to get into the round of 16, they'll get a pot of gold now.
Absolutely.
So they can build more infrastructure and then add more development to the youth sector. And that's what you've got to do. But no, I was disappointed with France, if I'm really honest. I was really disappointed with them. But
was it just the results or even the style of play?
I just don't think they got it together. They was all relying on Mr. Mbappe. I don't think he was.
He was quite at it, yeah.
Yeah, he was quite at it, and obviously you look at the German team; they would have been disappointed. But you've got to take your hat off to Spain.
Absolutely, yeah.
7 out of 7, wonderful team. They didn't play tiki taka. What they did, they got at you quickly and effectively. They give it to the wide men. They got the fullbacks involved, and they got at you. So, and then when you've got somebody like Rodri sat in the middle of that midfield, absolutely fantastic. If anybody should be up there in the world ranking, it should be him.
You think it's time for him to win the Ballon d'Or?
Well, I mean, he's done what he's done at Manchester City. He's done what he's done at his country.
Yeah.
Why not? But that's not up for me to say. That's up for the voters, isn't it? Maybe Messi will win it again. Who knows? And maybe the real GOAT will win it again. So sorry, you Ronaldo fans out there.
I'm not. Yeah. But yeah, it's good to see that you know who the real GOAT is.
Well, I just love football. I love players who can entertain and all, because I grew up at Leeds United, and we were told, as well as play football, entertain and all. Enjoy it, entertain and work hard, but entertain, do things on the ball and be aggressive with the ball and enjoy having the ball no matter where you are on the field, and love having a game of football, and that's what it's about. But you have to win your individual battles and all. But I mean, the Euros was fantastic. The World Cup's around the corner now, isn't it? 2026, and it'll come quickly. So there's a the women's game's grown. Let's not forget the women's game.
Definitely.
That's growing at a fast pace all around the world, not just in England, all around the world. So that's very nice to see that growing in all the women's game.
And the WSL, the thing I like about it is when the men are on international break, the WSL play at the men's stadium. So Arsenal were playing at the Emirates, Spurs were playing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and they were almost selling out. So
I think it's a bounce effect, isn't it? If they can do it well over there, it bounces all around the world, and then people start saying, well, listen, if they're doing it over there, let's see if we can at least do it in our own countries, whether big, small or indifferent. Let's see if we can do that. But the women's game is paramount and all. Let's not forget that's not just about the men's game. You've seen the women play, and they should be up there with the men and all. Why not? I don't care what anybody says, because they are professionals and they work hard. They're in a professional game, so why can't they be paid well for being in a professional game? That's where we have to get to.
Definitely. And even the USA women's team, it's just miles better in terms of how good they are in their field than the men. So why do you think that?
But you look at the structure, don't you? You look at the structure. You look at the structure from primary school up to elementary school, up to secondary school, up to college and university. There's a pathway, isn't there, for them? Scholarships at the end of it. If you're a talented sports person in the United States of America, it's likely you're going to get a scholarship at the end of it, and it's not going to cost mum and dad 20, 30,000, 40, 50,000 US dollars per year. You've got that free for 4 years. So that's the beauty of that, isn't it? There's something always at the end of it for them, and if they're good enough, then they go and play for the national side. But there's loads of pathways for them, and that's good. They're doing the same in Japan. They've took that model in Japan. That's why Japan do wonderfully well in the the football stakes, boys, the men and the women's and the boys and the girls. That's why they do wonderfully well, because they've got a structure. They've got a set structure. They know what they want. They know where they want to go. They want to compete with the world's best, best against best, best with best. That's what you've got to look at.
And how difficult will it be to set up a similar structure in India?
Listen, India's a big old place, you know, vast place, you know, and it's always going to be difficult, but it's up to the people above to be able to set that structure in stone, and the associations to be able to set that structure in stone. And like I said earlier on, you know, you've got private providers, private stakeholders now who are setting leagues up, adding more value to the ecosystem with the leagues. You know, you've got the wonderful Blue Clubs League, the baby leagues going on, and we at South United are adding to that now with our own South United football tournaments. We're adding more value to that. That's what we bring. We're not just a football club and we're expecting kids to come to us. No, we want to push the tournaments out there. We've just had a recent tournament now, South United Grassroots League tournament, which was absolutely fantastic. 7-year-olds running around enjoying it, and the parents. This is what I'm saying. This is not just about the football club. This is about the growth all around, you know. We had the Blue Clubs League over a 6-week span. I think we had something like 500 participants.
What was that, the Blue Clubs League?
Blue Clubs League, yeah.
Which were the teams participating?
Oh, from all over Pune, you know, all over Pune, you know. And so that was our outreach and all, you know. It's not just about a football club with an academy in Pune and in Bangalore. We're actually giving back. We're giving back, and you know, giving back to the coaches out there who want more games for the talented players, and that's what we're actually doing. And also, you know, that's the beauty of what we can do at South United Football Club. So, you know, getting back to that, it's about enjoying every aspect of football and the sports. And you know, if we, like I said before, if we can add more value to the associations, the district associations, and get best with best, best against best, then hopefully we can help everybody.
And you came out of the Leeds Academy system, so how much has that helped shape the, you know, personality and also your outlook on football?
Oh my word! Well, you know, I was a introvert. I wasn't an extrovert. I was a very quiet boy. Even on the streets, I was a very quiet boy. I didn't say a lot. You know, in school I didn't say a lot. You know, I love football. I used to watch it on the black and white TV, glued to it any time. Obviously, the FA Cup final was the ends and be all of everything. You know, on that Saturday, May the 12th back then it was. We looked at our heroes. You know, we looked at the teams, but you know, I could have probably, and I'm not just saying this, I could have probably signed for anybody at 12 years of age. I think my mother got fed up of all the chocolates and the flowers. She could have opened a chocolate shop and
I think you should name drop like five clubs that.
Well, I mean, you know, Liverpool, Manchester United, obviously Manchester City. There was Leeds United, the Glasgow Rangers, Glasgow Celtic over there in Scotland. You know, back then Everton, Liverpool. You know, even the likes of you know, the Coventry's back then. Who was big clubs. Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspurs, you know, there were clubs.
So you had your pick?
Yeah, because I love football and I was very enthusiastic about football and the sport, and I love the fitness side of it. I try and keep myself super fit now at 57 years of age, because I'd like to run up and down the field and show the students what it's all about, you know. And but yeah, you know, I had the pick of going to Manchester City. They offered me a 4-year contract and said, look, come to Manchester City. We love what you are. We love what you're all about. And I remember it was Ken Barnes. I was a Manchester City fan. Peter Barnes, his father, he was the chief scout. And I remember Tony Buck coming round to the house, the great Tony Buck, who, my word, is a legend. And I decided to leave home because I thought it was best for me to leave home and come out of my shell a little bit, you know, because then distractions at home would have been probably the person I am now, probably not. I left home 13, 14 years of age and pursued my career at Leeds United, which was absolutely wonderful. We all know about Leeds United back in the day and what they brought to world football and the great sides they've had. And, you just learnt off these players who was in and around you, you know, to tell you the truth. And obviously Peter Barnes was there. We just talked about Ken Barnes and Peter Barnes. He was at Leeds United, so that was fantastic. A Manchester lad.
Yeah.
Andy Ritchie, former Manchester United, he was at Leeds. Dennis Irwin was at Leeds. Myself. Eddie Gray, the great Eddie Gray was still there. The great Peter Lorimer was still there.
Yeah. And now his, I think, nephew, Archie Gray, has gone to Spurs.
Well, yeah, no, Archie Gray, I was actually talking to his cousin who passed away, Stuart Gray, used to look, and he used to play up and down the hallway with his father Eddie Gray, and we used to have a kick about him. He's no longer with him, God rest his soul. But yeah, the Gray family's been a wonderful footballing family, you know, and it's been absolutely wonderful. But I learned everything at Leeds United. I learned you know, about myself, where I needed to be, how I needed to get there. It was one step at a time, but fitness was a must. I needed to be fitter and better than everybody else, even the first team at 14 and 15 years of age. And that's what I did. So when I was doing pre-season, I made sure I did my own pre-season. I come back super fit, and I'm running with the first team, and I'm beating first team players, you know. So that was my attitude, you know, and my desire and my commitment and focus was to be the best I could possibly be every single day, and never to be outworked. That was my motto. Terry, never be outworked. Go and enjoy yourself, but you're here to do one thing. Hopefully you get in the first team, and that happened, and I worked extra hard to get into the first team, from the youth team all the way to the first team. So it was a fantastic ride. And then you get released at 19 years of age, and I ended up going, what am I going to do now? It was a shock. Nobody gets you ready for that, being released. Nobody gets you ready, I don't think, for losing your job, did he? Nobody gets you ready for that. It wasn't that I wasn't good enough. It was just that a manager come in and he wanted a different style. He wanted big fullbacks. Yeah. You know, I'm only 5'7" with my high heels on. But and why are you looking at me high heels? I haven't got high heels on. Come on. And I went down to Swansea with Terry Orriff, another ex-Leeds United player, and Tommy Hutchison, the great Tommy Hutchison, who played for Man City, Coventry, Scotland. And I went down there, and I never looked back. I said, right, I'm here. I'm going to work hard. I've got a 2-year contract. My first season was excellent. 42 games, 1 game suspended. Really enjoyed South Wales. And then he comes to me, come back from pre-season. I sign another 2-year contract. And I'm thinking, great, I'll stay here for the rest of my life. He said, no, you're going to Wimbledon. I said, Wimbledon? He said, really? I said, they only play tennis at Wimbledon. I don't have a football team. But yeah, crazy gang. Yeah. And that really opened a whole new can of worms. That took that little boy from Leeds United to Swansea out of his shell completely, because that was fun. And, you know, playing there for 5 years, winning the FA Cup in 1988. Wonderful lads, Vinnie Jones, Dave Besson, you know, Dennis Wise, some wonderful, talented players there, who went and got sold for millions, by the way. And obviously I ended up being the dearest fullback in the world and going to Manchester City. Remember what we said, 12 years of age? Yeah. Comes around, doesn't it, if you work hard? Your dream does come around, and it come around, yeah.
And it was, I think, ideal that you did that, right? You went somewhere, you got out of your shell, and then came to Man City rather than just taking it as the first.
Well, I could have stayed in my comfort zone, couldn't I? And I could have been in my comfort zone, but I thought, no, I need to get out of my comfort zone. If I'm gonna, you know, taste the world, I've got to get out of my comfort zone. That's what I did, and I think people have to do that. You know, you have to get out your comfort zone, especially in the sports. You get out your comfort zone, test yourself, and at the end of the day, you can have, you know, a wonderful platform if you really want to work hard. Yeah. You know, don't go through the motions. No matter what you do in life, don't go through the motions. Work really hard at it, and you can do anything you want.
And can you tell me a bit about your time in Everton? The entire city, Merseyside, Merseyside derby,
Evertonians, Scousers, Evertonians, Mancunians, Scousers. You know the rivalry between them. But no, I mean, obviously, I moved after Man City. I moved to Chelsea for a couple of years. Worked with people like Ruud Gullit, Gianfranco Zola, Frank Leboeuf, Mark Hughes, Vialli, who's no longer with us, God rest his soul. You know, Dennis Wise again, and Glenn Hoddle. So it was great down there, but I had the desire to move back north, and I went to Everton. Wonderful football club. They was in the doldrums a little bit though. You know, they was fighting against relegation, and obviously we didn't go down. We stayed up. I think they've been the longest serving EPL team, haven't they? And, you know.
They flirted with relegation, but they've managed to survive.
They're winning. They're building now a wonderful football stadium, so they're winning off the field now with a wonderful football stadium down on the dock. We know all about Merseyside, the Beatles, you know, Liverpool, Everton, the rivalry between them, how Everton was with Howard Kendall in the 80s and Peter Reid, and that wonderful array of talent they had, and they was competing on the world stage. But no, wonderful family club, and the culture again was absolutely, and the environment was brilliant. And this is what I keep talking about, environment and culture.
Yeah.
You've got to have that. You know, whether you're at the down in the depths, you've still got to have that culture and environment.
Yeah, and you've seen their stadium, right? Everton Stadium, the waterfront stadium. It looks amazing.
It really does, and I can't wait maybe to go over and see it. I think it's, you know, fans are fickle, aren't they? Some will want to move, some will want to stay. You know, will there be a hindrance to them on the football field, bigger ground? But listen, culture improves, and they have to probably get out of Goodison Park, and they're going to a wonderful state-of-the-art stadium. And this is where we need to get in India. You know, football clubs really need to develop. The ISL maybe now having their own football stadiums, but I think that is further down the line for that to happen. But no, I think it's great.
And even Szmodics doing an amazing job there. Last season with the points deductions and all of that.
Yeah,
it's been incredible.
on limited budgets, because we know a lot of managers have gone in there and spent a hell of a lot of money. So Szmodics got the back end of that, didn't he?
Absolutely.
He got his ears clipped for that, but it wasn't his fault. It was what had gone on before that. So I think they've done absolutely wonderfully well. And is he the man for the job? Did he want somebody with a little bit more extravagance, a little bit more, you don't know, a bit more of a demeanour?
I think they tried that with Frank Lampard and didn't work out.
But they've done it. Ancelotti went.
But the Madrid job came, he had to leave.
Yeah, you know, they've had them managers in there. I think you need somebody. See, the Evertonians, they want you to roll your sleeves up, pull your socks up and get out. That's the type of people they are.
Yeah,
the dock people, working class people. And that's the type of manager you've got to be there. And that's the type of player you've got to be there. And over the years, I don't think they've had them type of players. You've got to have your players who are going to roll their sleeves up and do it for the fans. Not saying they don't, but you've got to have a different personality when you're playing for that club.
And also, you said that Rangers and Celtic, you had your pick. Do you regret not going there, experiencing the old firm?
No, because I went to Manchester City instead. And, you know, we was building something at Manchester City under Peter Reid, but, you know, obviously it didn't happen out that way. But no, I always thought it was too early to go there. Maybe later on in my career.
At what age did it happen?
But I could have went there. I could have went there when I was a young boy. But then I could have went there before I went to Manchester City. I spoke to Liam Brady at Celtic. He was at Celtic. He said, Terry, obviously I was playing for Ireland then, and Liam was there. He'd come over to see me. He said, listen, we want to bring you to Celtic. We've put an offer on the table, anything from 1.5 million, 1.8 million for the fullback. I said, yeah, no problem. We had a talk, we had a discussion, went back to the club owner. He said, no, we want 2.5 million for you. We had Johan Cruyff on the phone, Barcelona, Ajax, Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester United. We spoke to Alex Ferguson, 1.5 million, but Sam Hammam wanted 2.5 million because that was the value. I thought I was overvalued. If I was honest, I would have loved to have gone and played for Barcelona. That would have been great under the great Johan Cruyff.
Yeah.
He, you know, but it didn't happen. So I look back on my career and I go, I've had a wonderful football career. So, yeah, I mean, you know, I will not turn around and say, oh, this club, that club. It was just about playing football for me.
Yeah. And you were an interim manager. Do you ever see yourself getting back to that role, or is that done? Like, are you out of the head coach manager space, or do you think you might ever return to it?
It depends, doesn't it? I enjoy what I'm doing now at the moment. You know, in the youth sector, it doesn't bother me. It's football at the end of the day, because it's a different pressure, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a different pressure from down here to up there, and I don't think a lot of the younger coaches realise that it's great to have ambitions and it's great to want to be at the top, but it doesn't last long now, does it? You know,
Yeah,
you've got to really be key. I'm happy where I am. You know, I'm happy in this space. You never say never, though, do you? So, but you know, while I'm happy in this space, I'll keep working hard. Like I said, never be outworked. Keep working hard. Keep getting around the centres. Keep travelling. Keep looking for that talent. Keeping my eye open for the boys and the girls. Talking to the families. Keeping them involved. Chatting to the coaches. You know, adding that element of fun in with them because it's not easy. And yeah, just growing every day I possibly can in myself and with the people around me.
And speaking about the Republic of Ireland national team, this guy Sammie Szmodics, he's been linked with a move to the Premier League, and he's had an amazing season with Blackburn, scoring goals for fun.
Yeah.
So do you see him being a good fit for a team like Everton? Because Dominic Calvert-Lewin might leave.
I think you know, it depends again what the manager wants, doesn't it? What type of personality he wants in there, what type of personality fits into his model, his playing model. You know, there's been, you know, a lot of young players gone to clubs and it hasn't really worked out. I think you have to be very careful now. We've seen that with Sancho from Borussia Dortmund to Manchester United, never really worked out. He left Manchester City. You know, we've seen it too frequently, and I think you've got to be very careful because the Premiership's a completely different beast to the Championship. I've played in both. It's a different beast, and you know, when you come into the Premiership and you've gone for big money, you're expected to know everything. You know, you're expected to be able to deliver. There's no messing about. There's no waiting 6 months. You've got to deliver. So, you've got to be very careful. But then it's up to the coaches, the coaching department to nurture these players when they do come in when they're younger. But yeah, I think the Republic of Ireland will start to see freshness coming out now. It's about time. It's about time we got to a major tournament. We've got the 26 World Cup around the corner, 2 years. So hopefully we can get ready for that. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult, but if not, then you know the 28 Euros, which is going to be held in Ireland. Hopefully we get a bye, maybe in that. But if we have to go through the other stages, then we'll have to play against the best, and hopefully we can do that.
But are there any young players you are particularly looking at? Irish players you think that will be able to make it?
There's a lot of Irish players at this moment. There's a lot of Irish players playing in the Irish local leagues and all, and I think that's really growing. The local leagues, there's being money pumped into that. The Irish FA, they've had the turbulent times. They really have had the turbulent times, but now they've got a new manager in there. I think it all boils down to the youth development department again. We've always done well at that youth development department, but then it's getting them to a better place in time with the younger players. But no, I'm sure we'll see 1 or 2 younger players coming out of there and really performing, hopefully in the Premiership.
Yeah. And you know, before we end this, I just want to ask you your predictions for the next season in the Premier League and also the Champions League. Like, who's your Premier League top 4?
Well, if I don't say Real Madrid, then the coaches are going to have a go at me, aren't they? So, no, I think it's very open, isn't it? It depends. You know, you look at Real Madrid, they've just got Mbappe in there. Is that a hindrance, or could it be for the good?
How do you see it going?
Well, I think he'll be okay because he's got Ancelotti, and Ancelotti had him before, obviously, at PSG. So I think Ancelotti will be able to handle him. They wouldn't have got him in otherwise. Free transfer. Can you believe that? A free transfer, you know, when he was valued at 300 million, you know. So I think it only adds value, doesn't it, to Real Madrid. And they're a quality side. But it's up to other sides to compete with them now at that level, the Champions League level. And it's going to be very, very difficult. I don't care what anybody says. It's going to be very difficult. Then you've got Barcelona who are growing year in, year out.
Yeah, they changed their manager now.
Changed the manager again. You look at the players the young players they've got there. You know, Gavi, Pedri, Yamal,
and they're linked to Nico Williams as well.
If they get then you're looking at it, and then you've got that experience around them. I don't think they're great at the back, but they'll be up there and thereabouts, won't they, with Real Madrid? But I think the EPL's it's a difficult one, isn't it?
You're just going to say Man City, I'm sure.
No, I'm not, because you know Man City, they struggle, don't they? And then the last
they get the job done.
The last 2 months of the season, they just go bang. There you go. That's a sign of a good team.
Yeah.
That's a sign of a good place. That's a sign of good players. and they seem to get it done. But we don't want to go through that heart-wrenching moments. Let's get it done by Christmas and be boring.
So who's your top 4 then for the Premier League next season?
Oh, well, I've got to pick Manchester City. Arsenal again will come second. Liverpool, woof, they've got a new manager now. Will Liverpool fare? It'll be difficult for Liverpool. Manchester United now, Ten Hag has stayed again. They've got Van Nistelrooy coming in there. So the coaching staff has evolved a little bit there. Will they get players in, get players out? I think they need that. Top 4, Chelsea. You can't miss out on Chelsea, can you?
They've changed their manager too.
I know the manager changed, but we'll see how he goes because it's a different kettle of fish. But he's got experience, hasn't he? He's done well at Leicester. Yeah, he's been under Pep, hasn't he, at Man City, so he knows what it's all about. I'll go Man City, Arsenal. My word. I'm going to put Aston Villa up there.
Oh, top 4 again.
Because that was my pick last year. I think they'll evolve. I think they'll even get better. And oh my word, Liverpool, Man United, Tottenham. Oh, it's a difficult one out of them 3. It's a real difficult one. It's a difficult one.
Coin toss.
I think I'll go for Man United.
Man United 4th.
I think they might just start.
You're just saying that to make me happy, I feel.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm not going to get out of the room.
Absolutely. And I can't not ask you about Man City's charges and what do you think is going to happen?
What charges?
Oh yeah, that's your answer.
Nobody's been found guilty.
That's your
yet.
answer.
But nobody's been found guilty.
I'm just saying, in case they are, what do you think is going to happen? It's 115. It's 115 charges.
You're asking me if.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
If, buts, and maybes.
Yeah.
So we don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Everybody wants them to be stripped of the titles, thrown into the 4th division, this, that. That negativity. They don't want Manchester City in the EPL to lighten it up. I don't know. Listen, if they get found guilty, then we'll find out what's going to happen. I can't speculate on what's going to happen at Manchester City. But let's enjoy the moment. Let's enjoy the moments, what we've had with Manchester City. And let's enjoy football. If they get found guilty, then they should be punished. Seriously, they should be punished because you look at Everton, Notts Forest and multiple teams before that. So if they've done any wrongdoing, then they should be punished for it because it's not fair.
Yeah.
But look at what they've created, and everybody says money coming, but Manchester United have spent an awful lot of money. Arsenal have spent an awful lot of money. Everton are one of the biggest spenders, and
Chelsea as well.
Chelsea one of the biggest spenders. It's just that as Manchester City used the money wisely, but if they've, like I said, and everybody listening to this, if they have been doing the wrong thing, then they get found guilty, then they should be punished.
Yeah. And the last question: if Pep Guardiola leaves at the end of the season, who would you like replacing him?
He's not leaving.
I'm just saying if he leaves.
He's not leaving. You sound like Arpit now at Sony Sports and Manus there. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I haven't really thought about that, to tell you the truth. There's a lot of managers out there. There's a lot of good young managers out there. Maybe Arteta. Maybe he could be one. He's been at Arsenal maybe 6 years now. He's got to win something, hasn't he?
Shout, yeah.
He's got to win something. Maybe Arteta, could he be the one to go in there? Why not?
Fair enough.
I'd like to see Arteta. If Pep goes, I'd like to, because he plays that brand of football, doesn't he? And he's, he'll have the riches at his hands. Maybe if they don't get found guilty. We don't know, but I don't think Pep's going anywhere too soon.
Okay, we'll see about that. Maybe a year later we'll have a different conversation.
Well, maybe it can't be any worse than what's going on at Manchester United at
Absolutely,
this present time, eh?
we're just enduring a tough time, a tough decade. Yeah.
No, it's right, and I'm sure it'll come good for Manchester United. It needs to come good for them, doesn't it? Growing up in and around the northwest of England and some wonderful football clubs around there, but listen, the Northwest clubs did very well this year. Liverpool, they won a trophy. Man United won a trophy. Man City won a trophy. You can't ask for better than that.
Yeah. And how can everyone find you, and how can they, join the South United Academy? If you can just explain it, the website and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
listen, just it's on your fingertips now. You always have to follow South United Football Club, and it'll pop up
everywhere. Instagram,
Facebook,
Twitter,
Facebook, you name it. It's got it. You know, I'd love people to get in touch with me personally, but I'm not going to give my number out. Sorry.
They can follow you on Instagram.
No, they can follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Terry Phelan Free. Get on Instagram, follow us. You know, come down. If you're out there, you're listening to this, bring your children down, come and meet me, have a chat with me, have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee with me, have a biscuit with me.
Yeah.
Talk about football, talk about life in general, you know, what your expectations are for your son or daughter, whoever it may be. We're there, we're open, we're in this space now, we're in Pune, and come down, come and see us.
Yeah.
We're in places like Karadi, obviously Bavardhan, Undri, so SB Road.
All over the city,
we're all over the city, so you can easily find us. Come down, have a look at us, see what you think, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, that sounds like a good way to end things, and thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
It was a
great
great
pleasure.
conversation, both on and off the camera.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great.